How do we align care support with talent strategy and succession planning? What if your next leader walked away, not for better pay, but because life went out? You've mapped your succession plan, you've identified high potentials, and you've designed some leadership hats for them. But the hidden thing in this whole plan is a risk that few are accounting for. Real life responsibilities like caregiving, health challenges, personal crises, and how they collide with leadership demands. And when that happens, people don't always resign, they quietly withdraw. They turn down these stretch assignments, they decline visibility, and they step off of leadership tracks. If your succession plan doesn't consider life realities, you might lose your future leaders, not to competitors, but to exhaustion. Aligning life and care support with your talent strategy isn't optional anymore. It's how you preserve your leadership pipeline. If we haven't met, I'm Dr. Anna Thomas. I'm a physician, leadership speaker, caregiver advocate, and corporate wellness specialist. I help organizations strengthen their workforce and create workplaces where people and performance can thrive together. Even as we enter an era of AI, automation, and agentic teams, the future of work is still human, and that work is changing dramatically. But at the same time, employees are navigating complex personal and professional pressures that are only going to escalate in the coming years. For example, in the next 5, 10, 15 years, we will see an exponential increase in the number of older adults who will need caregiving support. Who will be providing that care? Working adults. Right now, 63 million Americans are caregivers. That's 1 in 4 adults, with more than half of them currently working full-time. Those numbers are expected to increase and will have a tremendous impact on our communities and, yes, even our workplaces. And caregiving is just one example of a personal stressor that will impact the workplace. Mental health, chronic illness, stress, and burnout are all on the rise, and the organizations that will thrive are those that lead with care, culture, awareness, resources, and empowerment. Care. Through this series, I share practical strategies, leadership tools, and insights to help you create cultures that support well-being, strengthen engagement, and retain top talent. If you'd like a clear starting point, then check out my free training, The Future of Work is Care. The link is below. And while you're there, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with another leader who is ready to build a workplace that cares. Let's get into today's topic. I've watched organizations build leadership pipelines that assume perfect availability. Then they get blindsided when real life steps in. When that perfect future leader steps back because of caregiving or chronic illness or mental health, family responsibilities, they're not fringe issues. It shapes who stays, who advances, and who quietly steps back. So today we're going to talk about how to align your care supports, the supports and benefits and resources that you put in place to support your team, along with your talent and your succession planning, so your leadership bench is more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient than ever. So let's talk about where succession planning sometimes misses the mark. See, traditional talent systems will prioritize things like performance, potential, visibility, and their ability to participate in stretch roles. But caregiving and wellness support, they often sit somewhere else, right? Under benefits or EAP. They're not really part of leadership conversations. But that gap creates a risk. High potentials with caregiving roles, they may be seen as less available, not less capable. Leadership readiness assumes that constant presence means that you're ready for leadership. And when someone steps back temporarily, there's no plan there for them. In talent review discussions, they penalize sometimes life realities instead of planning around them. And what's the result? There is a brittle succession pipeline that's built for perfection, perfect people with perfect life circumstances, not real life. So here's how you bring care and talent strategy into alignment. First of all, you make it part of your readiness. Stop treating life responsibilities as liabilities. Know that if they're handling complexity, uncertainty, emotional complexity, because they're providing care for a loved one, they're navigating all of that in the home scenario, those are all leadership skills. It's developing their leadership capacity. You might want to think about designing some flexible pathways, some tracks, so they can still continue to progress through, even though they may be doing it at a slower pace. Plan for redundancy and continuity. Cross-train your emerging leaders. Help them have the skill sets to step in when needed. And normalize these sort of responsibilities in your career conversations. Like during talent reviews, you might ask, are there things that we need to plan around this year for you? That question signals safety. You're not scrutinizing it. You're trying to make it safe. You want them to succeed. You want them to grow. You want them to develop. Make sure that you are tracking and adapting this. Monitor advancement and retention by life stage and see if there's an uneven progression. Are there future leaders who are being held back because of these reasons, but if you put in the right support, could they also thrive? Here's an example. Imagine a cohort of 5 potential leaders. 2 are managing significant care responsibility at home. Here's what alignment could look like. Evaluate all 5, not only on outcomes, but on their adaptability and their self-management skills. Maybe you offer a co-leadership project, one person leading in strategy, another person in execution, and you cross-train the team so that each person could support the other. And mid-cycle, you review and adjust. No one needs to get penalized for being human, and everyone can stay connected and have that opportunity to grow. That's not lowering standards. It's building resilience into leadership itself. Because remember, seasons of care can change, and what may be a season of care right now may end, and that person who you thought was unavailable may become the best leader for your organization. Let's talk about from support to strategy and how to get there. When you integrate care and life supports into leadership development, you move from empathy to strategy. Your message shifts from "we understand" to "we plan for this." And the return is measurable: retention, engagement, and continuity of leadership. If you want to learn how to map this inside your organization, then start with my free training, The Future of Work is Care. It will show you how to use the CARE framework to build systems that bridge human support and strategy. And if you haven't yet, check out my book, Workplaces That Care. It's available on Amazon, and it is your playbook for building resilient workplaces that retain and empower leaders at every life stage. Now, before you go, succession isn't just about who's next. It's also about who is able to stay, right? If your pipeline ignores caregivers, you will lose leaders to silence, burnout, or life circumstances. But if you integrate it, if you put that support in place, you will retain talent that others aren't able to. Because leadership doesn't just happen in the office. It happens in life. And those who learn to lead through both are an invaluable asset. In our next episode, we're going to talk about why one-size-fits-all benefits don't work anymore. We're going to unpack why standardized benefits fail and how to tailor your support for real impact. While you're waiting, check out what tools actually help employees balance work and care. That video will explore the systems and platforms that turn strategy into reality. Remember, in this age of AI, the future of work is still human. So let's create workplaces that care.